Good afternoon and welcome to Amy Park on Wurundjeri land in Melbourne. As round 11 of the Isuzu Ute A-League season continues, we have the defending champions, Melbourne City, taking on a Sydney FC side who are shaping as one of the pretenders to the crown. The Peruvians are in the house to cheer on Piero Quispe, the Sydney playmaker, as he continues his tour of Australia. And as we've seen so far this season, the only certainty in the A-League is that anything can happen. Our two sides are all lined up in the tunnel. Our referees are ready. And it is time for the penultimate match of the round. The champions against a side that could move top of the table. Even though it's a Melbourne City side that have been struggling of late, just one win in their last 6 in the A-League, including a 3-1 loss last Sunday to Perth Glory here at Amy Park. Sydney FC, their season has been a real turnaround compared to last year. But they did lose last time out 2-0 to Newcastle as well. Their match against Auckland rescheduled. They come out wearing those T-shirts. We stand together in honour of the victims of the Bondi terrorist attack 2 weeks ago. A 44th meeting between these two sides in the A-League. Let's see how they line up. Aurelio Vidmar has made 3 changes from that side that lost to Perth last time out. Samuel Supran is fit again to start. He comes in for Liam Bonatic at the back. In midfield, Emin Jurakovic returns alongside Kai Truan and Andreas Kuhn. Takesh Kanamori dropping to the bench. And up front, Max Caputo, without a goal in his last 6 A-League matches, is dropped for the first time this season. Medin Mehmeti comes in on the wing, and Andrew Naboot will play through the middle. Ufuk Talay, despite the extra week to prepare for this one, is still without Joe Lolly and looks like he will be for the rest of the month of January with that hamstring injury. But Paul Okon-Engsler returns. That's the only change from the side that went down to Newcastle. Corey Holman making way for the Socceroo in the middle of the park. Piero Quispe continues in the playmaker role behind the front 3 of Abel Wallati, Alhassan Toure, either side of Victor Campuzano, the Spaniard. One change on the bench, backup goalkeeper Sandy Zavadinos comes in for the first time as Gus Hoefsloot is out with a wrist injury.
Sorry. Just a quick reminder.
Today is Quitters' Day, the day when most of you quit your fitness resolutions.
Do cancel all classes and gym memberships, and a most happy Quitters' Day to you all. See you next year.
Grab Hungry Jack's Summer Classics, the Tropical Whopper and Aussie Whopper. Flame grilled beef, bacon and pineapple for the tropical, beetroot, bacon and egg for the Aussie. Or get it all, the new Lot Whopper. The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
Say hello to the Ninja Slushie, the easy, convenient way to make frozen drinks at home. No ice means no watered-down drinks. No blending means smooth, perfect texture. Just pour, slush and enjoy. You can make it with the Ninja Slushie.
Half protection is not enough. Using just an antivirus online is also not enough. Get better online protection with NordVPN. It'll encrypt your online traffic, protect you from malware, phishing, and stop annoying ads. Get NordVPN now.
Alex Grant makes his 100th A-League appearance. 86 of them were for Perth, the last 14, including a goal against Melbourne Victory in the Big Blue early in this season with Sydney FC. Medin Mehmeti in the background, Piero Quispe there. Mehmeti scored in his last 2 against Sydney FC. The champions have been looking a little bit shaky of late, just one win in their last 6 in the A-League. Sydney FC need to shake off their Melbourne City hoodoo, winless in their last 7 against the defending champions. They have lost their last 8 in a row here at Amy Park against Melbourne City. But today they could move top of the table with a win. But of course, this being the A-League, nothing is as simple as that, as Auckland and Brisbane have already proved this weekend. Daniel McBreen.
Well, exactly right, Robbie. If you're a betting person, you'd be throwing your money away on this A-League. It's fantastically even. It's throwing up surprise results week in, week out. One of the surprises, I guess, a lot of us would think that Melbourne City sitting outside the 6, needing to win today to jump back into 6th position. And a real carrot for Sydney FC is top of the table. As you mentioned, results have gone their way. Brisbane Roar falling to Wellington Phoenix earlier today. In Auckland, against their now nemesis, I guess, in the Newcastle Jets, the only team to have defeated them twice in the season. So it's all there for Sydney FC today.
The Jets are proving that they love to travel across the Tasman. Wins over Wellington as well. Incredible result earlier today for Wellington Phoenix. 3-0 over Brisbane at Redcliffe, a sold-out Redcliffe Stadium as well.
The question is, what is it with red cards this year and teams getting the points?
Well, here is City onto the front foot. Mehmeti looking to square it towards Rahmani. Now the follower, Kai Truan. He's not the most prolific of goal scorers from midfield.
Well, it certainly sat nicely for him. A nice move down the right-hand side. An early ball in. Probably didn't allow for teammates to get there, but you see, it just falls nicely as he steps onto it. Doesn't quite get hold of it. Just maybe an early range finder.
Melbourne City do have a remarkable record against Sydney FC. This is a Sydney FC not of last year, perhaps, where it's understandable. Melbourne City went on to win the league, but Sydney FC were a powerhouse of this competition and still couldn't beat Melbourne City. Just one win in their last 13 matches. It is quite incredible. Melbourne City have won their last 8 in a row here at Amy Park. Sydney's last win here in Melbourne came back in 2018. Tisserand lets it bounce under a little pressure from Andreas Kuhn. Sydney FC, who normally wear sky blue, are in their Jacaranda-inspired kit this season. There's Ocon Exler. I'd love to have him back. Garucho looking up the line. Oh, Atkinson's only helped it on its way, really, to Al Hassan Toure. Here's Ocon Exler again. And he was looking to use the run of Garucho as a dummy and then look inside. Alex Grant bringing up his century of A-League matches, finds Ocon Exler, and now Marcel Tisserand. Rhys Yuli, real mix of experience in those youngsters in the middle of the park.
I was talking to football director Alex Balmiohan before the game, and he was saying that this season they think they've got that mix a lot better than they did last season. And he was saying that he believes that Ocon Exler was a real miss for them over the last matches that he hasn't been involved. And they were really glad to see him right there back in the midfield. They only have just a few games under his belt, but really high hopes for this young man.
Well, there's the loss in the derby, followed by 2 narrow victories, 2-1 over the Mariners, 1-0 over Perth, before that loss to Newcastle. But Exler, having missed those last 3 matches, returns now. There's Kai Truan, his Socceroos teammate. Him and Jurakovic, there was some question as to where Jurakovic would be lining up. It does look as though he's in a new position, high on the left-hand side. Rahmani playing in one of those 2 8s or 10s with Kuhn, as here's Mehmeti. Early strike, saved by Devonish Mears. He has a fantastic record against Sydney. Mehmeti, he scored twice last season against them.
It just opened up nicely, didn't it, for him? Just let it roll across his body. Well, but just see the way he just opened up his body and let it come across him so he could get it on his right foot. It's going in the bottom corner. Maybe he didn't get it as cleanly as he would have liked, but still forcing the save.
Long ball. Page with the header. Campuzano does well to shield it out of play. The Spanish number 9 into the Peruvian number 7, Quispe. The Frenchman at the back with the English-born Aussie, Alex Grant now. Here's Marcel Tisserand again. As he looks long. Oh, Quality almost got the better of Aziz Behich. It's out for a goal kick.
Well, you can see the close attention Aziz Behich was giving to Abel Quality there. They just pointed out in the pre-game show its goal last week. It was Aziz Behich who didn't go in with the first challenge, which allowed them to get the ball going forward. Well, he's obviously seen that and said, well, I need to be better this week. He's been very tight on anything going forward so far.
Aurelio Vidmar said they had a rather brutal video session after that loss to Perth, which meant plenty of words were spoken from the coaching staff, but also the likes of Aziz Behich and Matt Leckie.
Sometimes you just need that brutal honesty. Good teams, they know how to get into those rooms and flesh it out. It's nothing personal, it's about getting the details right as a unit.
Well played, Kuhn. For Jurakovic, has a good left foot on him. Eamon Jurakovic, we've seen him playing more as a number 6 alongside Kai Truan in recent weeks. Is there a foul there on Campuzano? There is. And that's why Suprayon is back as well. Doesn't give anything away.
He's a very experienced player. With his centre-back pairing, Romain Ferreira, a formidable duo. I must admit, thought the second half was much better last week when Supreme was on the pitch.
And here's Garucha. Quispe. He loves that little move of rolling his foot over the ball to try and change direction quickly. Yuli looking for Garucha, makes it all the way through in the end. Now Quispe. Comes back with Ocon Engsler. Now Alex Grant. Tisserand. Sydney FC with the ball early. Ryan Grant, the veteran. Campuzano, a little bit of space on that left-hand side for Quispe. Al-Hassan Toure in the middle. Campuzano as well. Quispe, oh, he's done nicely around Atkinson. And he recovered just enough, the former Socceroo, to put that behind for a corner.
Well, it was a neat play, wasn't it? Maybe just one touch too many. It was a lovely ball from Campuzano out to the left-hand side. And Quispe just stands up. Nathaniel Atkinson, and just there, I thought maybe he could have prodded his toe at it and got that ball square, and it allowed Nathaniel Atkinson just to nip in with his touch.
The Peruvian fans down there supporting Quispe's ball in, almost found Grant. Just couldn't reach it, then Tisserand was there as well. Now Ryan Grant. Tisserand will get there, drives it in towards goal. And it's a good save from Patrick Beach. It was straight at him at the end. First shot across the bow in this one comes from the visitors, Sydney FC.
We've seen that from corners from Sydney FC this season, where Ryan Grant gets up, continues the ball going in one direction, and it's Tisserand at the end of it. Saw it earlier in the season against the Newcastle Jets 2 or 3 times. just got the telepathic understanding of where the ball's going to go.
Well, obviously, all teams work on their set pieces, but Sydney FC, they've scored 4 goals from corners this season, averaging a goal every 10 corners. Here's Jurakovic. That was nice off the boot as well, so both sides with efforts early.
Well, again, it's one that you would expect Devon Smears to save, but it's another tester. Space on the edge of the box, just around the D. And here's the opportunity at the other end. Tisserand just trying to swing that right boot at it.
Tisserand back again. So Sydney FC averaging a goal every 10 corners. Melbourne City have had more corners than any other side in the competition coming into this weekend. Are yet to score from 61 so far. Devon Smears receives it back from Tisserand again. Sydney FC happy to have the ball at the back, happy to try and play their way through Melbourne City. And again, they've been unable to find the little spaces in midfield, Sydney. And now they're under a bit of pressure. The slip from Grant. Cohen drives it in early. And Jurakovic needed to be a little bit more killer instinct there. Mehmeti, that's a good header. And now Rahmani with Cohen again for Kavian Rahmani. Has 2 goals this season. Can he look for a teammate? Kai Truan, it's deflected, and Devon Smears can't keep it in, so it's another corner.
Well, Sydney FC are guilty of overplaying just a little there, back themselves into a corner, and then Melbourne City with 2 or 3 opportunities in the box. And as the ball comes back, it's deflected. Smears tries to keep it in, but to no avail. But that's the Melbourne City press we're used to.
Cohen. Back post. Oh! Devon Smears got himself in all sorts of trouble there. And that has been cleared off the line by Rhys Yuli. Andrew Naboot can't believe it.
Well, Devon Smears, you see there, Supreme just comes in behind him and acts as a blocker. And I think that could be, is it going in? Or maybe just going a little wide, but this really wasn't to know.
Well, it's another corner. This one will be Kavian Rahmani to take, and it comes. Good ball. This time it's Abel Wallity who heads away. Nice touch. Ocon. Kai Truan with the tackle, but Wallity takes over. Yellow card incoming for the cult figure at the back for Melbourne City, Herman Ferreira, who sacrificed himself early there.
Well, if there's a professional foul, you can just put that right in the dictionary, into Wikipedia, and just put that video there. He knew exactly what he's doing. Tale is absolutely disgusted in the foul. What else can they do? It's a yellow card.
Oh, that's given away cheaply by Ocon Exler. Jurakovic. Cohen might yet make it all the way through to Mehmeti, even at the second attempt. Now Grant's been bundled off the ball. Cohen still. Here's Jurakovic. Players slipping and sliding a lot out there at the moment. Bajic's ball in is a good one. And Tisserand with the slightest but most important of touches. That looked painful on Ben Garuccio. He's trying to get back to his feet quickly, but that was a solid collision with Atkinson.
Well, there you can see the turf that's coming up. That is a hefty challenge. That could be a dead leg. Keep that one moving.
Here's Rhys Yuli. Quality's done well again. Oh, Grant could only find the chest of Aziz Bayic, the Melbourne City captain. Now Rahmani playing more centrally today. Oh, that's a good turn from Andrew Naboot. Free kick for City, who are on the front foot here. Might go down very quickly to Michael Zapponi on the sidelines for us. Zappers.
Yeah, plenty of feeling early on. Ufuk Talay very vocal with the referees. Thought there should have been a yellow card to Jurakovic as well for kicking the ball away as Sydney FC were trying to move things on quickly, and also for a couple of fouls on the keeper just a few minutes earlier as well.
Thank you, Zappers. Just seeing Alex Grant almost slip again there, like he did earlier on.
3 or 4 players now that have slipped on the turn, and as soon as this foul was given, I saw Aziz Bayic turn and look at Aurelio Vidmar and say, Gaffer, is it me again?
Can I, boss?
Come on, you saw what I did last time.
Well, it was almost, perhaps, what, 5 or 10 metres to his right, but basically the same distance from goal, which he curled into the top corner of MacArthur's net, and Philip Curto did not move. Well, Sydney have been warned. They know what's coming here. The question is, can they stop it? Bayic, oh, it's good, and Devon Ishmael is not taking any chances, just guides it over the crossbar.
Well, again, it's not a bad strike, but it's one, again, that Devon Ishmael should save. As I say, just not taking the risk of trying to handle. Let him with some pace. See their shots at goal. City racing ahead.
More from distance at the moment. Rahmani again to the back post. Oh, and that one lands on the roof of the net. Well, it's clearly a tactic.
Yeah, well, Samuel Cyprian just comes around the back of the keeper, doesn't he? And then just plants himself as it goes over his head.
Santure almost got past Medin Mehmeti. Oh, Kuhn, he's so quick with those transitions. One touch and pass, that one just cut out. Quality. Can't keep it in under pressure from Aziz Bayic, who again asks more from the youngsters around him, letting Emin Jurakovic know that he has to be tougher in those challenges. That's where you set the bar. The leaders fiercely competitive, like Aziz Bayic. Beach back with Ferreira. And the keeper again. Here's Cyprian. Sydney's turn to set out their stand and make it difficult for City to pass their way through. Mehmeti had options the other way. Back inside. Devon Ishmael under pressure. That's better from Jurakovic. That's the applause of his coach, Aurelio Vidmar. Devon Ishmael again, who comes out pre-match barefooted with his Mate South American tee and visualises a few saves, walks around in his 6-yard box at both ends of the goal before heading back in, and then returns about 20 minutes later with the rest of his goalkeepers for the more traditional warm-up, shall we say.
Well, I've seen you do that around the commentator's box, Robbie, barefooted. Standing up, walking around, pacing around the chair.
Herbal tea. Here's Ocon Exler with Reece Yuli. Into the feet of Campuzano. 2 goals to his name so far for the Spaniard Campuzano, but he's an important link player in that Sydney FC front line. Here's Yuli again. Ocon wants it into feed. He decides to look wider to Grant. Just on the players slipping around a little bit. About an hour and a half before kickoff, we had a little bit of rain for 10 or 15 minutes. as the temperature dropped, as only it can in Melbourne, from 34 degrees to 21 in about 18 minutes.
When we touched down, it was very warm, wasn't it? And the jumpers are on now. It's perfect conditions, to be fair. A little dusting of rain on the pitch. Lovely weather.
Quality. Ryan Grant, little touch for Rhys Yuli, well defended. Kai Truan, he has a huge appetite for that midfield battle. Kai Truan. Here in the effects mic there, that was Scott Jamieson letting his team know Aurelio Vidmar actually has a little word in the ear of Scott Jamieson, who then bellows the instructions at the players. Suprion does well. Kai Truan. Jurakovic wins it back with the help of Bajic. And back they go. Ferreira again. Kai Truan has managed to get away from Kispe. Now he needs to find an option, though. Good pressure from Sydney once Melbourne City move into their half of the field. There's not much space around. We saw the shots stats, all of them from outside the box. So far, it's not easy finding the space in there. Yuli loses out and recovers only just before Andreas Kuhn finally comes away with the ball. You can see Kavian Rahmani screaming for it in the middle of the park. Ferreira, it's a good ball. The touch from Mehmeti for Kuhn. Oh, he dummied to shoot. Now Ocon Engsler rides that challenge. Neville Wallity was looking to get away. Andreas Kuhn has won it back. Now the Austrian accelerates. Kuhn to the edge of the area. Again, he has easy options, but he invariably chooses the hardest. But now long ball for Al Hassan Toure to chase. He's got great pace. He was in behind. Now Kispe. Al Hassan goes again. Here's Garuccio. The cross. Oh, and Campuzano came near post. And Wallity wasn't there to help.
Well, he should have been, shouldn't he? We spoke in the pre-game about how Sydney need to keep their wingers high and wide and put that pressure on with the danger in behind. And Al-Hassan Toure did it on one side. Wallity had to get to the back post, knowing that if there was anything to come in, he needed to be the man. And he just laboured on his run forward.
Great outside for Garuccio again. He's looking to just touch at one side of Atkinson and go the other, I fancy, but once again the defenders come out on top at the moment. No foul there by Mehmeti. Sean Evans letting the game flow at the moment. Not necessarily to the pleasure of Ufuk Talay. Even a smile on the face of the referee's assistant on that near side as Ufuk Talay's in his ear. It's all fun and games for the moment.
Well, I saw Ufuk Talay down there talking to all the officials before the game, and it looked very jovial. And I asked them, I said, what did he say? Am I going to be nice to you now, and for the next 95 minutes I'm just going to be into you? And they said, yeah, roughly.
Rahmani, it's a great turn. Now Kuhn. Jurakovic, he's got a good left foot on him. Emin Jurakovic, but under pressure from Ryan Grant, he laced that one into the stand.
Well, this is where Melbourne City do so well. little interchanges of passes, moving off the ball, just players jumping into little pockets around the edge of the box. Racking up the shots, they are mostly from distance. Sydney FC doing a good job of not allowing anything inside the box.
Sydney had much of the ball in the opening 10 minutes or so, but City have turned that statistic around as well. Possession now ever so slightly in their favour. Ferreira, you can see Aziz Beich was screaming for the ball on this near side again. It doesn't come. Now Patrick Beach. Ferreira. Into the feet of Rahmani. Kai Truan, now he finds Aziz Beich. He's got a little bit of space to run into. He's got Andreas Kuhn in support. Truan, back to Kuhn. Jurakovic, a little bit too telegraphed, the pass from Jurakovic, and Grant was able to read the situation.
He did well there, Ryan Grant. He took off early.
He's done well again. The challenge on Aziz Beich, and one of those quick little hugs and taps that you don't know if it's a little bit of friction or a little word said between two fantastic competitors and real emblematic players for their clubs as well, respectively. The two captains, Rahmani. Oh, Mehmeti. He's done well to get the better of Garucho with the help of Atkinson. Oh, and then Nathaniel Atkinson. He had the opportunity to cross. He decided to do a little too much. City so keen to press that they had players inside the penalty box there. Referee Sean Evans just reminding everyone of the rules. Now Kispe. Ocon Engsler. Campuzano for Kispe. Look at the space. They're able to pass their way through. They've gotten to this area a few times. Al Hassan Toure. Ocon Engsler. Ocon Engsler still. He has to come back. Reece Yuli forces Garucho to chase, and he's done well, Ben Garucho. City fans trying to get behind their side at the moment. Wallity. That right leg heavily strapped for Abel Wallity. Such an explosive player. Gets it again here, gives it back to Ocon Engsler. Well, it's a good passage for Sydney. They've held onto the ball, but they've been forced back.
There's plenty of passes, but no one really looking to go forward.
Alex Grant hearing that, finds Campuzano with a really incisive run and pass. Oh, and then trying to do likewise for Al Hassan Toure. Wasn't far away.
It was the right idea. A little bit of cut and thrust. Toure with a decent little run. See here, the space just open up as he turns. You can see that little just opening. Maybe if he gets the touch, Ferreira had him covered, but didn't quite take it under his control.
Sydney FC have scored 15 goals this season, third best attack in the A-League coming into this weekend, but only 3 goals in the first half. They are very much a second half side. It's a little bit the opposite of what Melbourne City have been so far this season. More first half goals for them. Oh, as Ocon Engsler wouldn't say he's looked rusty, but a couple of times, having been out of action for a little while, he's given the ball away as kiss bait for Al Hassan Toure. Oh, the mistake by Beach. Toure looks up, crosses. Too many City Blue shirts back. Now Ocon. He strikes it, and Beach at full stretch reels it in.
Well, this is a good ball. I think Al Hassan Toure just pulls out at the last moment. I think the on-rushing Beach has just put him off. And then selection of the cross probably wasn't correct either. I thought that was a real good opportunity just to stick the foot out and try and take it around Patrick Beach.
Patrick Beach, who was Reece Yuli did well against Romani. A few weeks ago we were talking about how he had the highest percentage of clean sheets in the history of the A-League, and compared favourably to the likes of Kalatz and Schwarzer as well from that NSL era. Well, he hasn't kept a clean sheet since then in 3 matches. He still has the best clean sheet statistics, mind you, in A-League history. That hasn't changed in just 3 games, but the young Socceroo, 22 years of age, would love a clean sheet here against one of the top attacks in the business.
I believe that was Ben Homer with the commentator's curse, wasn't it?
I'm just sharing it around, making sure it doesn't go unnoticed. Kuhn again. He stayed on his feet again. Referee sees no free kick. Wallity. Oh, he somehow won it back now. Oh, and a rush of blood. Perhaps Al Hassan Toure would have been in an offside position anyway. Campuzano's asked a couple of goals in the A-League. He's featured in Asia as well, where we keep repeating it, but 2 games left in the league phase, and 1 win would probably be enough. They're away to Ulsan next up on the 11th of February, before a week later away to Gangwon in Korea. They are all but assured of their place in the knockout phase. There's Tisserand looking for options, and everyone running away from him there.
There's a couple of times now he's been on the ball and he's asked for someone to come and show feet. I'm not sure if Wallaty's being told by the bench, who's right next to him, to run forward. Tisserand seems to be asking him sometimes, I need it to feet, I need something. And that's the kind of ball that Campuzano is really going to struggle with. Supreme Ferreira.
I'm pleased to say the neck tattoos are back again at Amy Park as well for the Melbourne City fans. The youngsters have been encouraged to get their diamond neck tattoo like Herman Ferreira, and I think there was even a prize today. Tickets to an upcoming game for anyone that was brave enough to brave Mum's wrath.
Should we point out that they weren't real tattoos?
Here is Jurakovic on the left-hand side. Truan with Kuhn. Bajic keeps it in, only just. And again, a little too obvious, the 1-2s down that left-hand side.
I was about to say, the next time that ball goes in there, they might do well just to turn, because Ryan Grant is taking off and allowing the space in behind because he's reading the pass. Might be a case of just look like you're going to play it around the corner and spin and turn inside.
Andreas Kuhn thinks he should have had the throw. Kai Truan does well. Andrew Naboot got his first goal of the season in the A-League, at least. In that 3-1 loss to Perth, he had scored the winner against Machida Zelvia in Japan in the Champions League earlier. His first goal this year after coming back from that knee reconstruction. Cyprian with Bajic. He wants Rahmani to come in a little bit more centrally. Well, this I think will suit Sydney FC. We've seen it so often this season. They don't mind in that first half trying to be solid, lock things down, use the pace of Al Hassan Toure in transition if the opportunity presents itself. Here's Reece Yuli, for example, able to look and face forward. Campuzano. One way, then the other. He's got Garuccio in the left. Oh, but the ball just curls away.
Well, it's a real game of chess at the moment, isn't it? A cluster of shots from outside of the box. Just the one strike from inside the box for both teams. Haven't really been able to open up either defence.
Rahmani, Atkinson. This is a good run. Naboot. He shoots wide of the mark. And again, yes, there was space for the shot, but there were perhaps other options as well.
And the ball stuck between his feet there and underneath him as well. Instructions coming from the bench and the thumbs up. Face didn't quite look like he agreed with what they said, but it's a shot from outside the box, very similar to the rest.
Devon Ishmeers did have to make a couple of saves early. From the youngsters, Mehmeti and Jurakovic. Atkinson does well. Yuli's headed back. Ferreira. Now here's Toure. Chance to run. Toure's got Kispe outside him. Al Hassan Toure is deflected. Can hit them with both feet, Al Hassan Toure.
There's good movement off the ball. Atkinson just keeps dropping off. You see that deflected across the goal, as is Bajic. Was a little bit worried, thinking that Wallerty might have been lurking, but again, just not honing in on that back post area.
Hat-trick against Newcastle, another goal against the Mariners means Al Hassan Toure at Amy Park against Brisbane. Naboot trying to thread it through towards Mehmeti, who nips in front of Grant. Now Atkinson. Atkinson still. Jurakovic. Look good off the boot. Here's Mehmeti now to try it. And that stings the palms of Devon Ishmeers. That was well hit from the number 35.
It's probably the best struck ball from that area. First one blocked by Ryan Grant, and then it comes out. Mehmeti gets a hold of that one, doesn't he? Forces a good save from Devon Ishmeers.
He's only played Sydney twice. He scored in both of them for 2 wins. Medin Mehmeti. City have won 5 of the last 7 against Sydney, home or away. For 2 draws, undefeated in that 7. Naboot did well. And so did Tisserand, just getting enough on it to take the sting out of the shot. Melbourne City finishing with a flourish. The opening 45 minutes at Amy Park, but no way through. Sydney FC head to the break, having once again kept their opposition, but unfortunately this evening themselves also scoreless. It has been a real game of chess, as Daniel McBreen said. Midfields and defences on top, but plenty of exciting talent out on the pitch, which surely is only a matter of time before we have a goal. We will have to wait for the second half for that. Half-time in Melbourne. City 0, Sydney FC 0. Well, as the players make their way off the field, let's head off to a quick break, and Tara and the boys will be back in the studio with the half-time show. Don't go away.
These two feel pretty stoked right now. Is it because they
Park, but like on the football pitch, for the moment, the drought hasn't broken. We're not expecting any more rain. Hopefully, we will get one flash of brilliance on the football pitch just to spark this one back into life. These two sides, particularly Melbourne City, have been struggling in front of goal, struggling for results, the defending champions in recent weeks. Sydney FC haven't had that problem, but they are coming off a 2-0 loss to Newcastle and then a week off after their game against Auckland was rescheduled, couldn't be played at Leichhardt Oval. Perhaps they needed a half of football just to get back up to match speed, Daniel McBreen, because there's no doubting the quality on the pitch of these two sides. For the moment, though, they just have to put it up into fifth gear and go for it.
Well, exactly right. Sydney FC, as you intimated in the first half, are a second half team, scored majority of their goals in the second half, so we expect to see them rise to the occasion. The match so far really has been marked by two of the best defences in the league. Sydney FC coming into the game after Brisbane Roar conceded 3, the best defence. Melbourne City not far behind, just conceding 10.
Now here's Naboot. Is it going to start early? Bajic has his Bajic with the effort, perhaps the follow-up as well. Bajic blocked by Tisserand. The first, a good save from Devonish Mears. And perhaps that's the spark to get things moving.
Well, great start to the second half. Melbourne City in particular, a good effort from Aziz Bajic. Devonish Mears called into action again. He has been the busier of the two keepers.
You mentioned the 10 goals conceded by City. They had the best defence of anyone last year, as we heard in the pre-game show. 7 of those 10 goals have come in just 2 games, 4 against Adelaide and 3 against Perth last Sunday. So otherwise, only 3 conceded in their other 7 games. When they have come unstuck, though, they have come royally unstuck. It's not the case this evening, which suggests Sydney FC will have to work very hard for their goals. The last time they met, it was a 5-1 victory for Melbourne City on the final day of last season, when Sydney and their season was really petering out, almost tragically, kicked out of the Asian Cup 2 competition, the Asian Champions League 2. And then unable to make finals football. It's a different story so far. Here they come. Rahmani, Truan with the effort. Blocked again. Sydney with numbers back.
Am I right in remembering, Robbie, that of the last 2 games last year, Sydney just needed 1 point, managed 1 point in their final 2. So it was a real disappointing end. Melbourne City have started this second half very bright, as is Bajic, giving it all he can.
Now Andreas Kuhn, it's a yellow card for him after that foul on Håkon Engsler. There was the grab with the hands, but I think it's the trip that has, or the step on the foot on that right ankle of Håkon Engsler, which has done a bit more damage. And the experienced defenders out there not happy with Kuhn. They felt that was a little bit sinister. Håkon Engsler has tried to walk away, but in fact has gone back down and now is showing the referee the stud marks down the Achilles. He's going to be able to receive some treatment as the doctor comes on, because Kuhn was yellow carded, so he won't have to leave the field of play.
I think Andreas Kuhn there was just trying to say, I was just stretching to run and I stepped on your Achilles. I don't know if that was accidental or a bit of experience.
Watch the right foot.
I think there's a little bit of a bigger step there to ensure there was some kind of contact.
Well, that's another one of the huge matches on the calendar coming up in just over 3 weeks' time. The Big Blue, the second edition. The first at Leichhardt Oval ended 3-0 for Sydney FC. A Joe Lolly that was irrepressible that night, doing the damage for Melbourne victory. Sydney FC without Joe Lolly for the time being. A succession of hamstring injuries sidelining him. Bajic back for Jurakovic, keeps it in. Tisserand is there. Abel Wallity. Bajic has it back. Bajic has done well. Almost found Jurakovic. Wallity. Now Andreas Kuhn has to be careful here. It's a good challenge. And here's Mehmeti. Well, he packs a punch in that right boot. And he's been told, obviously, to shoot on sight. But that one, let's put it down as a rangefinder in this second half.
Well, I count that as about the 8th shot from that area on the pitch from Melbourne City. And I guess you just have to give kudos to the Sydney FC defence, not allowing anything. There you go, 10 shots from outside the box. There's a whole cluster just outside the D.
"15 shots to 4 in Melbourne City's favour. You can see how high City are playing up the pitch in this second half. Here's Naboot against Grant. It's a good turn. Andrew Naboot still flicks it through. Atkinson, the cross. Tisserand clears. Rahmani lays it off. Kai Truan hits sweetly again. Well, when they hit them from distance, they either fly somewhere into the stand or straight at Harrison Devonish-Mears.
Yeah. Put that down as number 9 in that little cluster. It was great work from Andreas Kuhn on the right-hand side, the battle to get that ball central. And slim pickings inside the box for either side.
Rahmani able to turn after receiving from Bajic. Here's Mehmeti again. The control is good. Atkinson, his turn to shoot straight into the breadbasket.
Well, I'm not sure if that was a shot or he was trying to just play that across to the far post area. It's been all Melbourne City this second half. That's a lovely touch.
Ryan Grant finds Kispe. Neat and tidy in possession again, but probably haven't seen enough of the little Peruvian so far in this contest for Sydney FC. They find him. There'll be another free kick there. Kai Truan caught the wrong side. We might head down quickly to Michael Zappone, who's with us on the sideline. Zappers.
Yeah, one of the key things we spoke about in the lead-up to this game was the change that Aurelio Vidmar made up top. Max Caputo missing tonight on the bench, and Andrew Naboot replacing him. The work that he has done off the ball has been immense. He's done a lot of running, a lot of chasing. We saw just a minute ago a chance created, Naboot getting into a good position and forcing the shot on goal. Melbourne City starting to look better in the last few moments, and Naboot will keep running this game out. Remember, he has missed large chunks of football in the first part and last end of last season with an Achilles injury.
Thank you, Zappers. Yes, the Achilles followed by the knee. 2 seasons really without hardly any football for Andrew Naboot. Here's He's a real workhorse up front. Ferreira. Oh, that's bounced off the head of Ben Garuccio, the former Melbourne City player. And the City fans haven't forgotten by the looks of things.
Well, he just misjudged that one, didn't he? Just drops on the box.
Cohen, in it comes, good pace on it. Excellent defensive header from Alex Grant again. Oh, that's a good touch. Kispe early for Campuzano. Good football. Al Hassan Toure is arriving at speed through the middle. Campuzano. Atkinson didn't buy the dummies. Stays on his feet. Oh, and almost threaded it through towards Medin Mehmeti. Now there's a little bit stretched here, both sides. Is there an opportunity beckoning? Kispe slipping at the crucial moment. And it's still stretched. Has City come back? Jurakovic, too stretched apparently for the City liking. Everyone just saying, whoa, let's put the brakes on here. Now, Cohen goes again. Well, Sydney really struggling at the moment.
They are. And for Campuzano, every time that ball comes anywhere near him, I feel for him. Surrounded by Melbourne City shirts. As Sydney FC seem to be dropping deeper and deeper defensive shape.
That is a big stat that tells the story of 11 second half minutes. Here's Rahmani. He shoots. And again, it's like a magnet at the moment. Straight at Devonish Mears.
Well, again, it's not a bad effort. It's one that Devonish Mears takes with ease.
And a little bit of frustration just leaking in there as well. Al Hassan Toure turning it with a spray at Devonish Mears, who returned it straight to him.
And I can say that Fuktale got up and gave them both a serve.
Garuccio with Grant, who again leaves it for Devonish Mears. Tisserand. Oh, Rhys Yuli's given it away. Kai Truan. He's everywhere at the moment. Cohen wants it, so does Bajic. Into the area, Bajic might fall invitingly. Medin Mehmeti keeps it alive. Ferreira. Suprayon with Truan. And Bajic, City straight back onto the front foot. Trying to tease out Sydney. They've done that pretty well, City. Here's Cohen. Nice football from Rahmani. Now Jurakovic. Nabuk. Jurakovic goes again. Tisserand across in cover corner. Tisserand doesn't like it.
Well, he read the play beautifully well there. Tisserand. And on first glance, it was lovely football from Melbourne City. Tight areas, 1 and 2 touch, but see how he just reads the play there and goes early. And he thinks it should be a goal kick.
He might have had a case as well. It looked like he kicked it.
Yeah.
Corner. Kavian Rahmani. Takes it short. Oh, it's well read by Rhys Yuli. Not at all well executed. Campuzano, was he fouled? Yes. By Aziz Bajic, so a frustrating moment for Melbourne City from the set piece. Change for Sydney FC, and Corey Holman comes on to replace Rhys Yuli. Corey Holman, who started the last game, his first appearance of the season after injury against Newcastle. Ryan Grant asking for the City players to get back 10. Well, they are swarming around at the moment, City. They've won that back off Ocon. Cohen with Mehmeti. Mehmeti still. Well, he managed to just find enough space for the shot, but in the end, there were too many bodies back again.
Well, it's the Melbourne City press again, putting Sydney under immense pressure. Now look at the bodies get back for Sydney FC. 5 players getting back to cover. In the end, Tisserand just allows it to roll past the post, but Sydney FC really struggling to venture forward. I've hardly seen possession in Melbourne City's half of the field. Patrick Beach must feel like a spectator at the other end.
Truan. Have a look. This is how Melbourne City are attacking at the moment. More than half all their attacks coming down that left-hand side of Bajic and Jurakovic, and you can add Andreas Kuhn a lot of the time into that mix as well. He loves to float out there to get involved. Atkinson, Kai Truan again has his Bajic screaming for the ball. Suprail drives it forward and gets it to him. Kuhn again involved. Bajic driving through, as is Bajic. It's brilliantly done. And the shot from the tight angle has smacked into the face of Harrison Devonish-Mears, I think. Another brilliant piece of goalkeeping, but he is attracting all the shots at the moment from Melbourne City.
Well, I don't know how he's still standing. That was hit with some force from Aziz Bajic, right into the face. Gave himself a little bit of a...
Yeah, he's asked the referee if he can just take a moment as well.
Just had a little bit of a shake of the head after, and I'm surprised. It's a wonderful return pass, and Aziz Bajic with a little shimmy, and boom, look at that. Stands up strong, doesn't move an inch. That is brave goalkeeping. And Melbourne City...
right on the chin. Well, that's not a glass chin for the boxing terminology, but it's have the teeth cut. Oh no, it's the nose, yeah, which is bleeding a little bit. That was a ferocious hit. Brave goalkeeping. Pretty strong teeth as well.
So he could take up a second career in boxing. He can take a hit, can't he? And can see the funny side.
Well, Andrew Nabut clearly with a couple of little one-liners in there. And I wonder, do you get a little concussion test anyway for there? They haven't seemed to think it's...
I think the way that he's conversing with everyone that he's okay.
Is he normally that funny?
Well, if you're going to go back to your boxing reference, that's the moment where you've thrown the punch and he just looks at you and has a little bit of a laugh, and you think, uh-oh, I'm in the wrong ring here.
Well, he has been imperious so far in this one. Beach with Ferreira. City build again. That's just about as close as they've come. As is Bajic again, whether it's from free kicks or those marauding runs down the left-hand side, and those accelerations has been a constant threat for Sydney at the back. Al-Hassan Toure. Another frustratingly overhit pass for Campuzano. Jurakovic, that's a good ball for Kuhn. It's behind Mehmeti. Atkinson gets there just. And then a second time, but it'll be a throw for Sydney FC. The endeavour applauded by the fans and Aurelio Vidmar alike. Rahmani does well. Jurakovic with Naboo. Kuhn. Oh, it's a clever little pass. He's very good at those little flicks. Andreas Kuhn also keeping the ball in tight spaces. Rahmani now. It's a good ball from Toure that time for Campuzano, who's fouled by Kai Truen, who doesn't like it.
Well, our producer has just given me a little nugget here. 42nd minute. Toure is the last time that Sydney FC have had a shot. Melbourne City have had the last 11 shots. And while he was giving me that information, I was just having a look at Patrick Beach's touches. More than half of them are outside the box playing with his feet. I think that shows to the dominance that Melbourne City have had in this match. Still nothing to show for it though.
Garucho's touch for Kisbe. Holman back with Alex Grant. Campuzano, Wallity. Campuzano again gets it back. There's space here on the left-hand side. Kisbe, Garucho and Al-Hassan Toure ahead of him. Kisbe, Toure looking to curl it. Well, there was half an opening there. There were three teammates at the back post, but it was just about worth the effort.
Well, it was a good move. Look at the space here for Sydney FC. See the runners outside, players on the back post, and he elects to try and bend it. It wasn't really with much conviction, was it? It was almost as though it was a hit and hope that it had bend into that far corner. And you could see the reaction of his teammates. It's the disappointment. Finally, it got to the other end with bodies in support. Just rather petered out.
And is the A-League leaders' curse going to strike again? We've already seen Auckland and Brisbane with the chance to extend or take the lead at the top of the standings be shot down in flames this weekend, and Sydney FC are certainly not looking like taking the lead at the moment. The ball in towards Naboo at the near post. Jurakovic for Naboo! Oh, so close. It's been deflected wide. Well, that would have been spectacular.
Well, it was nice, wasn't it? Just the chest. So you knew there was only one thing on his mind, and it looked like it was just going to creep into that.
About their tactics, so they need to find them and just calm down a moment. There's still plenty of time in this game where one goal is all they need, and they could be top of the table.
Thank you, Zappers. Well, Mackie, you're always one for saying there's no problem with having arguments with players, with saying what needs to be said, whether it's out on the pitch in the heat of the moment or otherwise. But it doesn't look as though this Sydney FC side is one brimming with confidence at the moment.
Well, it's all good to be getting into those confrontations, if you like, or conversations, but as long as it's constructive, as long as it's not turning into screaming at each other in a frustrated manner for the sake of it. It has to be constructive. It has to be to get the better out of your teammates. A little snippet of information that might be able to help them.
Well, at the moment, it's Melbourne City doing most of the constructing. Ufuk Talay looks like he is preparing for a change. Looks like it might be Akol Akon, Sydney FC's youngest ever A-League footballer, preparing to come on. Will he have the spark? Here's Naboo. It looked very close to offside. Naboo still going. Flag stays down. Corner.
It's just a little heavy touch, wasn't it? To check his run.
So the change coming, and it's Abel Wallity the player to make way. 20 minutes left, 20 minutes for Watchalong. For the moment, really Vidmar hasn't felt the need to go to the bench, where he does have plenty of quality there as well, the likes of Caputo, Kanamori, Schreiber. Players that have goals already behind them this season. Rahmani. Akon has gone straight up front as the lone striker. Devonish Mears, good punch. Well, Sydney FC, Devonish Mears first and foremost saying that was a good punch and we were away. Where's the advantage? Is there even a foul there? Not often you see a player win a free kick and claim there wasn't one.
Well, he wasn't the only one to go up. It was nearly the whole Sydney FC team has won.
Campuzano. Akon can't keep it in play, so it's a throw. Now we have Ferreira signalling something to the bench as well, trying to get the attention of Scott Jamieson and Aurelio Vidmar. Patrick Beach. Are they looking at Supran? Look at those shots at goal. Absolute dominance, 21-5. As here goes Mehmeti. Still City knocking at the door. Rahmani thought about the shot, plays in Bajic. His cross, the opportunity, back post, Mehmeti. Well, it's another huge opportunity for City, who are knocking at the door. For the moment, it's shut. Naboot again with Kuhn. Atkinson. Naboot, and Sydney unable to put enough pressure on, even in these tight little areas. Nobody putting a foot in.
Michael Saponi asked if Tale having such a big break was a positive.
And here's Bajic, the cross in. Naboot was there again, back in from Rahmani. Ocon Exler clears, Naboot has stayed down. Someone landed on him on the way back down, perhaps.
Well, if Devonish Mears isn't... Let's have a look at that chance from Mehmeti. They move the ball well, they work it down to the left. It's a good ball to the back post, and he's just on the stretch. Just couldn't quite get there. And then Devonish Mears, he has to be the top Paramount Plus player index, surely.
We'll have to wait a couple more minutes to see that. Before the end of the match, we'll give you a little insight to how it's tracking with 5 or so minutes to go. Patrick Beach has made 3 saves. Harrison Devonish Mears 9.
Is that all? Feels like a lot more, doesn't it? He's also
it
come...
does, but that's a busy afternoon for a goalkeeper.
He's also come for about 4 or 5 crosses too and punched well.
Naboot loses out. Kispe for Al Hassan Toure. Get the feeling City, at least defensively, have a real appetite for it this evening. They don't want to concede. They're swarming around every time a player has the ball, and unlike Sydney, they're going in for the contact. They're putting their foot on it. Here's Suprayon. Kuhn. with Ferreira. 15 minutes left. Still this one in the balance. Is it going to be 1 win in 7 for the defending champions? Or is it going to be Sydney FC, whose drought away to Melbourne City continues? It's already since 2018 their last win in Melbourne against City. 8 wins in a row for Melbourne City. Here they come again. They've certainly been the dominant side in this one. The dominance which has only accentuated as the match has gone on. Campuzano. Lacon, oh, and well, surely that's a free kick against Aziz Bayic. Referee not interested. The youngster is only 16. He's a little bit confused. I think Sydney FC feel it was perhaps too obvious for the referees. Now, Aurelio Vidmar does go to the bench eventually. It's not going to be 3 goals in 3 against Sydney FC for Medin Mehmeti. Andrew Namut also makes way. And City's top scorer, Max Caputo, as well as Takeshi Kanamori, who's chimed in with a couple of good goals this season as well in Asia. And one remarkable strike against Adelaide in the A-League as well. They have come on. Will they be able to provide the difference? Bayic, the ball in. Caputo can't get there. It's Devon Ishmeers again.
Well, those are the runs that Max Caputo does so well. Just off the front of the first shoulder of the centre-back. Just looking to get him behind. It wasn't too far away from Aziz Bayic, who's been, for mine, one of Melbourne City's best tonight.
There is the Hungry Jacks live ladder. As it stands at the moment, Sydney FC are not heading to the top of the standings. They still have that game in hand against Auckland. What a contest that will be. Look at that, the top 3 all failing to pick up maximum points so far. And Melbourne City, Macca, the defending champions who are flying the flag in Asia in the Champions League, for the moment unable to crack the 6.
I guess the good thing for Melbourne City is it's just 6 points between 9th place and 1st place. Everyone really well bunched together. Just Western Sydney and Central Coast now being cut adrift at the bottom.
You do get the feeling, though, and even for those 2 sides, if they could get a couple of wins, well, even if
we've seen that's worked with teams already. Yeah.
Melbourne victory, so Newcastle.
Yeah, exactly. It's been such a tight league. It's hard to see some weeks which teams are going to come out with the spoils.
And you just know it's going to be like that right to the final weeks of this season. Cohen still looking. It's been a good performance from him. Bayic, outstanding. Bayic, oh, he couldn't just squeeze it out to Caputo. Campuzano has toiled hard as well. It's going to be a throw for Sydney. Campuzano knows that he wants to go quickly. Suprayon is going to get a booking. Suprayon with a couple of words for the ref here as well.
There's another one of those professional fouls.
We've got a few definitions for them. Lovely touch from Kispe, but Atkinson fights back again. Håkon Engsler. Devon Ishmeers, Tisserand. That City press, they have suffocated Sydney throughout the match. It's been really hard for Sydney FC, the visitors, to try and play their way out. Suprayon, thumping header, Kuhn, great touch, Andreas Kuhn, so close. Just curling agonisingly away from that top left-hand corner.
Well, that's probably the best chance they've had. Comes from the press again. Suprayon winning the header. Andreas Kuhn able to hit the target. That'll be his final action for the match as Baker comes on to replace him.
Toure, free kick, foul by Atkinson, Ocon Exler. That's a good ball, Campuzano. He thought Ocon was outside him to the right. He only found Aziz Bayic. Suprayon again. Atkinson, the cross, can't beat Alex Grant. Kispe with a hand to control, and it will just give City the opportunity. They decide to play it short to try and keep this momentum going. They've had enough chances. They've created enough. It's just not falling their way at the moment. And this, we've seen so many times this season. Just ask Melbourne Victory at the start of the campaign, Western Sydney now. It's all well and good to create, but you have to put the ball away. That's what makes the difference. Aurelio Vidmar knows it. He's said in the last few weeks that it hasn't been good enough. That you can have a bad match, you can have an off day, but the question is, how do you respond? And for the moment, they're not responding with victories. And that's what's lacking.
It's such a crucial period too, so many home games, no travels through Asia. This is where I think we all thought we'd see Melbourne City really turn it up and start racking up the points. It just hasn't panned out that way.
Baker with the foul on Ocon. He has 7 consecutive home matches. Next up, Brisbane, then Newcastle and Auckland, all at home, 3 more. So far in the 3, a loss to Melbourne Victory, a draw with Macarthur, and a loss to Perth. 1 point from 9 at home. For the moment, this one is scoreless. And then those next 3 home matches. Baker. That's come off. Ocon. It will be another corner. A 9th of the match so far.
Look at those 3 home matches coming. It doesn't get any easier, does it? Brisbane, Jets and Auckland.
All in the top 6.
Yeah, exactly. Not an easy run by any means.
In it comes, back post. Oh! How did that not go in? Samuel Suprayon. You would have just about put your house on it. Oh, that is a huge miss. Huge miss.
Oh, I don't know. Well, he's just mistimed it, hasn't he? That is the opportunity of the match, and he can't believe it.
Thiago Quintal and Pat Wood coming on as Sydney make the attacking changes. Campuzano and Toure making way. It's a change in personnel, but they need to try and turn something around now. Herman Ferreira was gesturing towards the bench about 15 minutes ago for something. Bessian Kutleshi has come on. So Ferreira was the one outfield player that had played every single minute so far for Melbourne City. All 900 of them. Baker. Truan. Bessian Kutleshi looks as though he's moved into the centre of defence, so he's played a few positions already in his very young A-League career. He can add centre-back to that. Bajic, the flick. Almost found Baker. And that's one of those ones that's come off the toe of Kevin Rahmani, has him limping around. Again, it's relentless from City. Everything taken quickly. Free kicks, throws to keep the momentum. There is the Paramount Plus player index, and as expected, it's the human magnet, Harrison Devonish-Mears, who's attracted just about every single City shot straight at him, including one from point-blank range from Aziz Bajic. Is there a foul? There is from Caputo on Holman. Well, he's a comfortable leader in the Paramount Plus player index, Harrison Devonish-Mears. Mind you, a goal could change all that in the final 3 minutes plus stoppages. Oh, now Kanamori, as soon as he stretched for that, he went down. Has he just been winded, or has he felt something go there? I think it's the latter.
Well, in the Harvey Norman replay, let's have a look at some of Devonish-Mears' work today. He has been a brick wall. He's been the busiest man on the park. As you said, Robbie, he's been like a magnet for that ball. Melbourne City haven't been able to find a way past.
This does not look good for Takesh Kanamori. He stretched forward. There was a little bit of contact, but he immediately felt for his groin. It's already gone from that very first stretch. The question is it just early since coming on and a bit of a cramp, which can happen? Well, we just heard, he says he's okay. There's the word coming back from the doctor, so he's able to rejoin. Well, they don't want to lose him to anything more serious.
Well, no, he's not moving well. He's just signalled that he has to come off.
As here goes Pat Wood, he won't keep it in, but he's not okay. Kanamori signalling again to the bench that that's it. The throw is taken quickly. Garucha, Kispe. One for Akolakon to chase. Oh, he got the better of Kutleshi.
Well, that looked a foul, didn't it? Akolakon there just helps the ball on with the header and just got flattened.
Well, it's the second time the youngster's been left feeling a bit bemused by the call not going his way. We're in the last minute now. Takesh Kanamori has just sat down because the ball won't go out of play. And City, who want something more from this, you get the feeling Sydney FC, while obviously they would take a win, would be relatively happy with how the game has gone over 90 minutes to emerge here with a point.
Well, I was wondering where you were going with that, because I was going to say I don't think that Tale would have been or will be very happy with the way the game has gone. When you look at the pressure that Melbourne City have exerted on them, I think you're correct.
Now Kanamori makes way. He's heading down the tunnel. No flag for offside against Watchalong. Atkinson that time doing the marshalling. This time free kick goes O'Connexler's way.
Well, Melbourne City with a player down.
They've only made 4 subs as far as I can.
They used
they've
three
used their
windows.
3 windows, so they can't make another. That's right, they have. So they will have to finish with an inferior number of players on the pitch. That could yet change as well in the next 3 minutes. For the moment, they're 1 player down. Kisbeh. Turning, lays it back for Garucho. Kisbeh again. Holman into the area, as is Bajic. That's a good ball. Wood, the little touch. Quintal. Well, a rare shot in this second half. They've had to wait a long, long time. Can only remember Al Hassan Toure having an effort in this second half, and then that in the 2nd minute of stoppage time. Two minutes left. 2 minutes of stoppages. Perhaps with an extra man, Sydney FC might yet be able to create the surprise here. It would be a cruel twist of fate, but football can be a cruel game. Wood. He's lunged into that. Trewin. He's gone down, somehow got back to his feet, Kai Trewin. His Suprayon just blasts it forward. Grant. Rahmani had a look, he goes down. Now, is that an injury as well? It didn't look good the way he went down. And now Pat Wood up the other end. He gets there. And he tries to poke it around Pat Beach with the outside of his boot. Beach makes the save. Bajic has stayed down.
Well, there's another look at the opportunity from Pat Wood, but it's the injury at the other end here. Just worried about the way this knee buckles. Oh, and that's never nice to see.
Oh, and we're seeing it so much at the moment. Just the slip for Kavi and Rahmani. Hopefully it's not as bad as it looked. We saw a terrible one for Alex Battolato this weekend for Newcastle. He's back to his feet. They haven't sent the doctor on because they don't want him to come off. Well, Kavi and Rahmani stay up top. You can hear the bench. Well, they don't want him to come off. They don't want the doctor to come on, even to come off before coming back on. So Rahmani, who's on one leg.
Yeah, his face said it all. I don't think walking around out there is going to do him any favours.
No. So, for all intents and purposes, City are now 2 players down for these final seconds of the contest. Quintal with Holman. City defending. The ball up towards Watchalong. Claimed by Patrick Beach. Now the question is, how much longer will referee Sean Evans add on? No more. Well, there were to be no goals. It's back-to-back matches for Sydney FC without a win. They miss out on the opportunity to go top of the table, but it may feel like a point well won, particularly for Harrison Devonish-Mears, outstanding in goal. He was a wall standing between Melbourne City and 3 points. Shake of the hand between the two coaches. It is now 1 win in 7 for the defending champions, Melbourne City, as Kavian Rahmani can finally get the help that he needed to get off the field, and that does not look good at all for the right knee of the young winger and versatile midfielder. You never like to see that.